There are a lot of opportunities to make money in the short term that might hurt your brand. And like, that's just like people will say, take money to retweet something. And I never wanted to do that because it's just very disingenuous and it's not, it very quickly cheapens your brand. I started a newsletter, and I did that because I enjoy writing. I feel like I learn best if I have to explain something to someone else. And I was just like neck deep in NFTs and this whole world. And I was like, hey, it would be cool to have a newsletter, a blog, something to write about that just sort of breaks up the trading and all that kind of things. And it just started to sort of take off because this would have been in, I think, June 2021. So sort of like at the beginning of the massive bull run, and there just wasn't a lot of NFT content out then. I even remember like on Twitter, the largest accounts and the quote unquote influencers had like 20, 30,000 followers. So the entire space was very small compared to the crypto space, compared to the real world, compared to everything else. And so by being a content creator and creating content that people seem to like and resonate with, it was just very easy to just sort of get caught up in the entire bull run. So it wasn't just prices were going up, but like anyone that was creating content or tweeting or anything decent, half decent, would just sort of see their following go up as well. So uh, that's kind of how it all began, my newsletter. And then I started tweeting some daily floor price updates. And that was like another pivotal moment that really started my Twitter account blowing up. And yeah, like that's the beginning and the origin story of Zeneca, I guess, and the content. And from there I just realized I love this. I enjoy doing this a lot more than just flipping, trading JPEGs. The emotional swings of that are not that fun. I just, my background, it was about 17 years as a professional poker player. So I was okay with it. Like I knew how to handle the swings and the stress and all of that, but it was still just, wasn't fun and it wasn't fulfilling or rewarding. I didn't feel like I was adding or contributing to society or helping others. But then creating content, I was like, hey, I enjoy this and I feel like it's helping people and maybe I could turn it into like a career and all of this other stuff. Let me just go kind of all in on this. And that's kind of what I did, where I was thinking about how can I, in the traditional, quote unquote, traditional world, if you're a content creator, if you're writing something or releasing something and you want to monetize it, it's generally something like a Patreon or paid ads or subscription sponsorships, affiliate links. And I was like, well, I could go down that route, but it just felt disingenuous. And the Web3 space has a bit of an allergy to like a lot of those things.
The word free comes up a lot in your
Hmm.
in everything you kind of do and talk about. Can you talk about a little bit about why you believe things should be free and why you create so much stuff that you give away for nothing?
Couple of reasons. One is when it comes to education, I think education should be as free as possible for as many people as possible. I mean, in the reality of the world is that that can't always be the case, and someone needs to subsidize education because it costs to make educational content, videos, produce them, write them. You need to find a way to pay for it somehow. But in an ideal world, there would be enough free education for everyone. And the kind of is like the internet is beautiful like that. If someone has an internet connection, they can learn most things right now. And so that's like one philosophy. The other is that that's like the altruistic point of view, and then the other is like the capitalistic point of view, I guess, which is just generally speaking, if you're trying to build a massive community, trying to build a large brand, trying to build a large audience, if you just try and monetize that audience very early on, it's like if you really, I think, kneecap your ability to grow a little bit, and you can supercharge your growth by putting everything out for free for as long as possible. And as long as the quality is high, people are sharing it, people are liking it, and then perhaps you can release some sort of premium paid something or other. Um, and that comes in many forms, or maybe you never have to do that. You can do like ethical affiliate links, or you can do other things
Mm.
to generate revenue that keeps the content free. And there are ways to monetize down the line. So I think, yeah, just generally speaking, it's great to have as much stuff out there for as many people out there as like top of the funnel, and as more people can find it and be helped by it. And then in the future, that I think there will be ways to monetize that, and you can do it in a way that is hopefully uh, ethical and in a way that doesn't, yeah, it just doesn't really harm the overall value of the brand or the content or the community.
I think there's lots of brands that have built huge equity like this. I mean, Ted pops to mind.
Mm,
One of our guests on the show, or actually been on the podcast twice, is a guy named Jack Butcher with Visualize Value. Also, same thing, that creating high end content and giving it away leads to people paying attention. But not only that, I think there's also this idea that people who follow for a long time and who receive for a long time feel almost like a sense of obligation, or they feel like they owe something, even
mm-hmm,
though you've never asked for something, which is, I think, when you do go, well, now we have something that you can buy, or we have
mm,
something that you can support, or we have some way of you actually kind of giving back. I think they're already ready to pay for something
mm.
because they've gotten so much back in terms of value.
When I launched Zen Academy, I had been doing daily stats and I'd been doing my newsletter and stuff for, I mean, 5, 6 months, which is actually not that long in the grand scheme of things. But in the NFT space, it seemed like a while. And people had gotten value out of a lot of my stuff. And there were many people that said, all right, I'm happy to support and buy this because of what you've already done, let alone for maybe if you keep doing stuff with this, maybe good things will happen. Um,
Mm,
I think Mr. Beast is a great example. He just creates awesome YouTube videos, and it's on YouTube. Everyone can watch it for free, but obviously he's
mm.
now made squillions of dollars through all sorts of other ways. Yeah, like I don't know, coffee, chocolate, whatever he sells,
T-shirts.
advertising companies will give him millions of dollars. It's yeah, there's a lot of ways to monetize in the future if you can afford not monetizing now. There are a lot of opportunities to make money in the short term that might hurt your brand, and like that's just like people will say take money to retweet something, and I never wanted to do that because it's just very disingenuous and it's not. It very quickly cheapens your brand if people know that
Mm.
your tweets can be bought or something like that. And so I've worked pretty hard trying to avoid that. I didn't want the art to be the reason people were buying. I didn't want the roadmap to be the reason people were buying. I wanted people to like read the letter and read the
Mm.
reason for joining this. And it was very much an experiment because I was very honest about I have no roadmap. I don't know where we're going from here.